There's a specific kind of pain that only comes from family. The smile is there, the polite words are there, but something in their eyes tells you the truth that you've been trying to ignore. They don't like the way Allah has blessed you. And the part that hits the deepest, that jealousy you feel, it isn't really about you, it's about Allah's decision. Someone who resents your blessings isn't upset at your success, they're upset with the one who gave it. And Allah never lets you stay close to a heart that reacts like that. So the real question is, when Allah removes a relative from your life, what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saving you from that you can't see yet? The first sign doesn't come as a big betrayal or a dramatic moment. It usually shows up in small ways, the kind you brush off at first. A relative who used to celebrate your wins suddenly goes quiet. A compliment feels more like a comparison. They make a joke that stings a little too sharply. Or they only check on you when they want information, never when they want to make dua for you. At family gatherings, you notice they look uncomfortable when your name is praised. They study your blessings more than they congratulate you for them. They downplay your good news and highlight your mistakes like it's a competition. And a part of you keeps giving excuses for them. Maybe they're tired. Maybe I'm misunderstood. Maybe I'm overthinking. But deep down, you know you're not. You're feeling something real. Something Allah is quietly revealing. Because there's a moment where Allah allows the veil to fall and you finally see what you weren't seeing before. They don't want good for you because they can't handle what Allah gave you. And here's the uncomfortable truth nobody likes to admit. Jealousy in family is not rare. And in Islam, it's not a small feeling. It's a spiritual disease rooted in being unhappy with Allah's decree. Allah says in Surah An-Nisa 454, or do they envy people for what Allah has given them? That ayah isn't about strangers, it's about hearts. Any heart that resents the blessings Allah places on someone else. And when that heart is in your family, Allah doesn't shame you for feeling hurt. He shows you the signs early so you don't stay blind to a harm that would break you later. Because the truth is simple. What someone hides in their chest, Allah sees clearly. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't let you stay close to a heart that quietly wishes your blessings were gone. There's a moment when you realize a certain relative doesn't feel safe anymore. And it's not because they said something dramatic. It's because every conversation with them starts to feel heavier than it should. You tell them good news, they respond with comparison. You mention a blessing, they remind you of someone who has more. You talk about something you're grateful for, they find a way to point out the flaw in it. At first you think it's just their personality. But personalities don't make your chest feel tight before a phone call. Personalities don't make you rehearse your words before speaking. Personalities don't drain your energy after a 5-minute chat. What drains you is knowing deep down that they don't actually like when Allah gives you something. And one thing about jealousy, it never stays hidden forever. It slips into tone. It slips into conversations. It slips into silence. A relative who envies you will make you feel guilty for being blessed. They'll make your happiness feel too loud. They'll treat your progress like a threat instead of something to celebrate. And this is where Allah's protection quietly begins. The Prophet said, "Hearts are like soldiers united. Those that recognize each other come together, and those that don't will separate." Your heart can sense who's good for you and who isn't, even if your mind keeps making excuses. When Allah wants to protect you from the harm in someone's heart, He doesn't always send a sign you can point to. He simply makes the connection harder to maintain. The energy feels off. Their presence drains you. Your soul becomes uncomfortable around them. And that discomfort is not pettiness. It's protection. It's Allah quietly saying, this bond is hurting you more than helping you. Because not every separation is a heartbreak. Some separations are mercy in disguise. After a while, the problem isn't one comment, or one awkward moment, or one heavy conversation. It's the pattern. The way their mood shifts every time something good happens for you. The way they only ask questions that make you feel small. The way they celebrate everyone's success, except yours. You try to ignore it the first time, then the second, then the fifth. But eventually you reach a point where the excuses you keep giving them don't match the reality you keep experiencing. And that's when it hits you. Allah never exposes a person's heart through one incident. He exposes it through repetition. A jealousy that shows once is easy to deny. A jealousy that shows consistently is Allah telling you to pay attention. You notice they're warm with you in public, but different when it's just the two of you. You notice they speak highly of strangers, but stay silent when your name comes up. You notice your good news always becomes a topic they try to shrink. It's not dramatic, it's not explosive, it's not a big scandal, it's slow, it's quiet, it's consistent, and that consistency is the sign. The Prophet ﷺ said, "A believer is not stung from the same hole twice," meaning Allah doesn't want you to keep trusting a pattern that keeps hurting you the same way. So He lets the behavior repeat, not to break your family ties, but to open your eyes. Because if someone is secretly bothered by the blessings Allah gave you, their tongue will eventually reveal what their heart tries to hide. A slip in tone, a repeated comparison, a comment that feels unnecessary, a reaction that feels too sharp for the situation. You start realizing it's not bad timing, not just their personality, not you being sensitive. It's clarity. It's Allah removing your confusion before He removes your closeness to them. Because some harms don't arrive loudly, some arrive quietly, through patterns you can't afford to ignore anymore. Sometimes Allah doesn't expose a jealous relative through words or behavior at all. Sometimes He removes them through life, slowly, gently, in ways you don't even recognize until much later. You get a new job that changes your schedule. You move homes, you get married, your circle shifts, your responsibilities increase, your priorities mature, and suddenly, without a fight, without a dramatic ending, without any closure, you just stop having the same place in each other's lives. At first it feels strange. You wonder if you're being cold. You wonder if you should try harder. You feel guilty for not being as close as before. But with time, you notice something important. The distance feels peaceful. Your heart feels lighter. Your mind feels clearer. Your emotional energy isn't constantly being drained. And that's when you realize Allah didn't let this separation happen to punish you. He allowed life to rearrange itself in a way that protected you. Some relatives don't leave your life through arguments. They leave through changes Allah wrote for you long before they ever hurt you. A shift in routine, a new chapter, a different environment, a tighter schedule, a move that felt random but wasn't random at all. Allah removes certain people quietly because the harm they carry isn't loud, it's subtle, unseen, unspoken, and Allah protects you from the harm you can't see before He protects you from the harm you can. There's an ayah in Surah An-Nur where Allah says, Allah knows and you do not know, meaning Allah knows the real reasons behind things you cannot see. That's exactly what this type of distance is. It's a form of protection written in ways that look like change, but in reality, it's mercy. Some separations feel like natural life transitions, but if you look closely, they're actually divine redirections. Because Allah knows the hearts you trust and the ones you shouldn't, and He will never let a person stay close to you if closeness to them is quietly damaging your soul. There comes a point where the distance isn't coming from them anymore. It's coming from you, not out of anger, not out of ego, not because you want to cut ties, but because your heart finally reaches a place where it can't pretend anymore. The effort you use to force stops. The explanations you used to give feel unnecessary. The guilt you used to carry becomes quieter. And the version of you that kept trying to fix things finally gets tired in a peaceful way. This shift isn't coldness, it's clarity. Allah gives your heart a kind of strength you didn't have before. A strength that says, I can still respect you. I can still be kind. But I won't chase a place in your life that Allah Himself is taking me out of. And that strength doesn't show up suddenly. It grows in small ways. You stop feeling the need to convince them you're not their enemy. You stop explaining your blessings like you owe them an apology. You stop shrinking your happiness just to make them comfortable. You stop replaying their comments in your head for days. You start feeling free, not because the relationship healed, but because Allah healed your attachment to it. There's an ayah in Surah Al-Fat where Allah says, He is the one who sent tranquility into the hearts of the believers. That tranquility, sakatna, is exactly what allows you to step back without bitterness, keep ties without losing yourself, and move forward without dragging emotional weight behind you. Allah replaces guilt with peace, confusion with clarity, attachment with self-respect, and slowly, you stop chasing the people who never wanted you to rise and start honoring the space Allah is creating in your life. Because the moment your heart stops running after those who don't wish you well, that's the moment you finally step into the protection Allah was preparing for you all along. When you look back at everything Allah took you through, the signs, the heaviness, the repeated patterns, the quiet distancing, the strength He placed in your chest, it's easy to think this whole journey was about the other person, but it wasn't. It was also about you, about who you become during the distance, about what grows inside you when Allah protects you from a heart that isn't clean toward you. And here's something important, something we often forget when we're hurt. Being protected doesn't make you better. Being distanced doesn't make you higher. Having blessings doesn't make you superior. Arrogance is just as dangerous as jealousy, maybe even more. The moment you start thinking, I'm above them, I'm chosen, I'm on a different level, you slip into the same spiritual trap you were being protected from. Because Allah removes people to protect your dignity, not to inflate your ego. He distances you to keep your heart safe, not to give you a reason to look down on theirs. You don't know their struggles, you don't know their wounds, you don't know the tests that shape their behavior, and you don't know how Allah might change their heart tomorrow. So you walk this path with humility, the kind that says, I'm grateful Allah protected me, and I ask Him to purify all our hearts. Because at the end of the day, this entire journey wasn't about proving who's right or who's wrong. It was about Allah teaching you how to choose peace, how to guard your heart, and how to trust Him even when people fail you. If this reached your heart exactly when you needed it, leave a quiet, Ya Allah, protect my heart from arrogance and jealousy. Someone might read it and whisper Ameen. Until then, value the peace Allah places in your life, and don't let anyone, including yourself, corrupt the heart He's trying to heal.